What's going on? I had an interesting observation today. I was on Facebook and I saw someone post a question looking for help. And the question was regarding to some family issue relating to his daughter and what to do about it. And one of the responses I found to be pretty bad advice, actually. And the advice, well, I get what they were trying to say, and I get that it was coming from a place of they were trying to help, but they're saying don't get emotional. And the reason I think that's bad advice is from my own experience because I used to believe that getting emotional about something was a weakness and getting emotional about something was the reason why I was having problems or it wasn't like masculine or that's not what Marines do. We don't get emotional about things. Um, but the truth is, without emotion, you can't really experience life fully. And if you think that the answer is to not get emotional about things, what it leads to is actually some of the bad habits that I developed. One was avoiding. You avoid situations that cause you emotion. Um, if you get in an argument with your spouse and you don't want to get emotional, you avoid situations or having conversations that are important conversations, but they're too difficult. You might not have the skills currently on how to communicate, so you avoid those conversations because you don't want to get upset. Um, but the problem doesn't go away. The problem's still there. You're just not talking about it. You're avoiding it. The other idea is to numb. You have things like drugs, alcohol, um, doing things that take your mind off of it. If it's binge watching movies or binge playing video games or whatever it is, detaching yourself from the situation so you don't feel anything about it. Uh, all of those things might work in the short term and they might make you feel like you're getting out of it so you don't feel something, you don't feel emotion, you're getting all emotional about it. But it's really limiting you and it's not not the right way, in my opinion, to handle it. So my suggestion, and it's been working out pretty good for me, starting to get some practice. Allow yourself to feel the emotion. If something causes you to feel angry, feel angry. Uh, One of the classic examples is everything that's going on with Afghanistan right now. Um, that's a really real reason to be upset about something, to feel anger. Um, but you can feel an emotion and then still give yourself a way to pause. And the way that I've found that works for me great is if something upsets me, the skill that I've been taught and have been using and works is called paced breathing. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to breathe in, count to like 2, 3, and then you want the breathing, then you want to pause, and then you want to let the breathing out to take longer than the breathing in. So you want to shoot for like 4 or 5 seconds to breathe out. Then you want to hold for like 2 seconds with all the air out. And then you do it again. What it's doing is it's slowing your heart rate, taking those feelings of anxiety, adrenaline, and it's physically calming your body, which then reacts by calming your emotion as well. You might still feel it, but you're not going to be as intense, which is good because then what's happening with your body is that whole fight or flight mode, where if you're feeling an intense emotion and your body's been trained through combat or traumatic experiences, PTSD, things like that, your body's going to automatically click into detaching the front part of your brain and going right into the back part of your brain, which is survival mode. But lots of times we do things that are great that in survival, but not so great in full reality, real life type situations. You might do something that feels good in the moment, but the big picture, it's actually the worst thing you could have done, causing more damage to your relationships, yourself, others, and not fixing the problem. So the paced breathing, what it does is it calms your physical part of your body, which allows your emotions to get more subdued, and then you can allow the front part of your brain to do some reasoning. Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Question your emotions a little bit, and if they're justified, then you start asking, well, what's the best possible decision I should make next? Versus reacting, now you're giving yourself the opportunity to respond. And if you do this, you start building some resilience. You start building some confidence. You start developing a habit of being okay with feeling these emotions and not worrying about feeling them. So you're not going to avoid situations that make you feel upset. You're not going to numb when you feel upset. And you're not going to detach from the situation. You're actually going to experience life. You're going to experience emotions. But you're going to create a situation where you can actually get good at feeling emotions and still doing a good job with whatever emotion you're feeling. So this is an area that I'm working really hard on, and because I'm seeing so much progress in this area, when I saw that comment, I figured it would probably be appropriate to kind of share that, because I'm not speaking from like a professional, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychiatrist. I've done hundreds of hours of therapy myself, and I've really dedicated a lot of time to try to learn these things. But I'm coming from a real world experience where I was doing a lot of stupid shit and causing a lot of pain for myself and my wife and kids, and the whole situation. I was reacting to emotions, and I wasn't responding, and I was depressed, and I was dealing with a lot of issues. And now a ton of that is behind me. Now I don't feel anxious about things. I'm able to work through them, and it's huge. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. And if this kind of content is something that you enjoy and you find helpful, please let me know, and I will continue doing it. I do have my Outside the Wire podcast. I'm going to post this video on the Outside the Wire Instagram page, and I do have intention of talking more about this kind of stuff. Being outside the wire means, from a military standpoint, being in combat. So the podcast is kind of related to the combat stress, and then the aftermath and how it affects you, and then what I've learned and what other people that I bring on the podcast have learned, and how they cope, and how they have tried to build a positive life that is not completely controlled by PTSD. So that's the goal. But yeah, if you like this content and you want more, please let me know. And hope you guys are having an awesome time. Semper Fi, out.